next off, we now have Jonah Comstock, who also works at Moby Health News. He is the chief editor, and is that right?
Yep.
Good. And with us is Gustavo Kiatake.
That's it.
Okay, I got it. Good. You are the president of SBIS Brazil. Tell us a little bit about what you do and what's exciting you.
All right. We are leading the Health Informatics Society in Brazil. And, well, we have many challenges over there. We have some new regulations that have been done in the last few days in Brazil, covering telemedicine, that we are open the telemedicine practices in Brazil, and there is huge discussion over there. The doctors are complaining a bit about the use of technology, and so it's a very interesting conversation, and that we can see here in HIMSS also tools and discuss the same problems that we have in Brazil and take the experience of many other countries. And we have also a very brand new legislation about privacy in Brazil, and we have some time to deploy it till next year. And we see that in Europe, the GDPR that is in place for some time, and HIPAA compliance that a long time are in place here in the US. And then we take all this experience to bring to Brazil and discuss that.
So on a world stage, people are kind of at different levels of how far they've gotten in being progressive. We had somebody earlier on the show who was from Sweden, and it seemed quite clear when I asked him, where do you fall on the global landscape in terms of progressive? He's like, oh, we're doing great. So where do you fall on that kind of scope of being more conservative or more progressive as a country?
Yes, well, we think that we have some very many common problems. The interoperability, privacy, and of course, Brazil is very particular. We have a huge country, but US also, but we have some health system is quite different. We have like the public health system and a private health system. So there are some particularities that are quite different.
Yes.
But it's amazing that we can discuss in terms of the deployment of the technology. We are pretty like all over the world. Of course, if we are talking about, for example, Finland, that's a very small country. It's much easier to deploy a public...
That's a really good point about size.
I actually spoke with someone at this conference from Brazil who was working on a big teledermatology project in Sao Paulo, and Eduardo Corioli. He told me that the size of the city in Sao Paulo is just a huge...
Yeah, just in Sao Paulo we have 2,000 million people, so wow, Sao Paulo it's almost a country.
Yeah.
At the same time, you have some distant place that we need to cover also. And we have infrastructure problems for telecommunication, for example, and places that the doctors do not want to go there because it's so far away. And technology, it's a very good tool to cover that distant places. Well, moreover, we have the same discussion about analytics.
Yeah.
I suppose that it's a worldwide discussion and how to deploy, how to use it.
Sure.
And it's interesting that we are deploying. Yesterday, we have a very good in the keynote speakers talking about the public policies about open data.
Yeah.
And this is something that we are discussing also in Brazil. We have some protocols already in place to exchange information between providers and health plans.
Yep.
But we are aggregating in this protocol now clinical information.
Right.
So it's a very huge challenge.
Yes, it is. Luis, good luck. Keep fighting the good fight. And thank you for being on our show.
All right. Thank you too much.
Great.
I appreciate it.